not gonna let you guys wait any further. So immediately off the bat, we do
Your
see
team is banning.
Lemmer being banned, Cho being banned. Kimmy is starting to make her appearance here, as she is recently unbanned as well. She's gonna be banned without any doubt. So immediately, Claude's gonna be the
Your
second ban as
team
well.
is
It's
picking.
No surprises, actually.
yeah, it's no surprise. It's the meta picks here, so to speak. Of course, you gotta go with
Your
Grok. You
team
gotta
is
need a
picking.
stable tank that can zone out everybody without any problems at all.
Yeah, now, does BREN respond with tanks of their own? Or do they go and secure damage dealers here for their comp? Let's see, though, what they decide to do.
Typically, what these guys would do is they go for a playmaking tank, and then follow it up with a marksman or a mage. We can see, there you go, Alice, one of the tanks in the game, as well as the Akai. Akai, his ultimate Hurricane Dance, he's going to spin around and he's going to knock everybody back. Alice has a lot of sustain as well.
Your
So you
team is picking.
can say the BREN eSports is looking for more of a team fight heavy composition here, but with Wicked Minds picking up Kagura and Kaja, they're going to be doing the same thing. Kagura's going to be able to dish out a lot of damage,
Your
straight
team
out
is
burst.
picking.
Kaja's going to be able to pull somebody with his Divine Judgment and pull him out of the equation, so to speak.
So I guess it will be fighting fire with fire here. Like you mentioned, BREN eSports going for a more team fight heavy draft here. And ArkAngel actually responding with the same. So let's see if BREN will follow up with the current setup that they have and try to secure some damage dealers here.
Yeah, and they are hovering over that Harley. That's another damage dealer in the bank for them. And that high loss is going to be a support, a tanky type of support that can also dish out a lot of damage. It's definitely going to be a problem here
team is
for Wicked
picking.
Minds.
Yeah, and so far you seem to be liking BREN eSports draft here. The setup is there, the playmaking is there now. How does ArkAngel decide to respond here? We're waiting on their two last picks, how to round out their current draft.
They're going to go for physical damage here on that carry. And I think another playmaker would be wise here for Wicked Minds. Probably... there we go. They're actually going to go for more burst damage here with that Gushin. It's okay. This lineup is good. It's good in the early game, going into the mid game. BREN
Your
eSports, though,
team
depending
is
on their final
picking.
pick, they will be able to scale really well in the early game, mid game, and in the late game as well.
Yeah, so it seems like BREN, they're covering everything here. What you'd expect from the top team, covering every part of that game. But like you mentioned, anything could happen. We are waiting on their final pick. Let's see, what does Pain decide to go for?
I'm actually curious because usually we'd see them go for a Hellcurt for the split pushes. But right now they're having... Oh, there you go. They pick up the Hellcurt. So, Hellcurt, Ultimate, Dark Knight Falls is going to blind everybody. His Blink has AO... As soon as he lands on his Blink, he has an AoE silence. Overall, is going to cause a lot of problems. But with Hellcurt's Ultimate, he's going to be granted an additional movement speed increase and then an attack speed increase. It's going to allow him to split push without any problem. So that's going to be one of the main objectives here by BREN eSports. Just go for the objectives and try to go for team fights whenever they can. Just pick somebody off. On the flip side, though, it's going to be all about getting kills in the early game. That's the only way that they can go ahead. When they picked up carry, they already said that we're going to have to scale this to the late game because that is the only time when carry is going to be online, you know.
Yeah, and you know, we were talking about what BREN wanted to do. They did have the initiative in terms of picking during the draft, and they did go for team fight heavy, but with their last pick, like you mentioned, the Hellcurt gonna be adding a lot more pressure on the map with his split push. So I'm very excited to see how BREN eSports decides to play around that.
I mean, it's different. The way they play Hellcurt is different from the other teams because just like with Execration, where when they pick up Hellcurt, Zapnu always plays aggressive. He's playing the burst mage, which is not something that Hellcurt is made of. He's not built to be a burst mage. He's built to be the split pusher and just constantly applying pressure across the map. And of course, applying pressure across the map is going to be beneficial for these teams as we actually go into game number 1 here between WRS Alliance and BREN eSports.
Yeah, just gonna send a bit of harass here. Bit of level 1 action.
Yeah, a bit of level 1 action. They're just gonna go get some farm as much as possible, try to get ahead of these guys since the gold advantage is not going to anybody's side as of yet.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, on the side of BREN eSports, the early game would be important for them as they'd want to get to scale towards the later parts, but it seems like we have a bit of a pause here. We'll have to wait and see what that is about, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a. I think they're just checking the pings, maybe. Maybe they're getting rid of the nerves.
You know,
What do you
I'd
think?
say that's the best time for a pause. No, a minute into the game, not much gold swinging to either side, not big advantage. It's just a bunch of passive play, but yeah.
I mean, these guys. Well, of course they're gonna be nervous against BREN eSports. BREN eSports is the top team, and going up against them is gonna be a tall order. You know, it's the veteran status of BREN eSports just resonates all across the board, and everybody's nervous because they know that they're the best. They're the defending champions. It's kind of like a David Goliath type of thing.
Yeah, but you know, if you're BREN, the only way you can go when you're at the top is down. So, no,
Yeah.
that pressure could also be getting them. But like you mentioned, veteran status, not gonna mind that as much. But yeah, it looks like we are back into the game.
Yeah, Wicked Minds is playing a bit reactively here towards BREN eSports. They're not going for any aggressive takes, just like what BREN eSports is going here. Getting the crabs on the side lanes to get a bit more golden experience in the game.
Yeah,
And I think this is going to be an initiate in the middle lane.
yeah, I think it would benefit Wicked Minds to actually go for an engage here. But not gonna find anything yet.
Yeah, they're just I think they're just gonna play it passive here. They're not gonna go and look for the early engages here because if they lose out that engagement, the gold swing is immediately gonna swing towards the side of BREN eSports.
Yeah, and if you're Wicked Minds, you can't risk
Turtle
that early game
resurrecting
fumble
soon.
because you don't want to accelerate the late game scaling
First
of BREN,
blood.
but actually first blood onto the Hellcurt. I
Yeah.
wonder how that happened.
Well, we have yet to find out, but that's the first blood for Wicked Minds. And the turtle is actually going to be taken here by BREN eSports. I think there is going to be a bit of a contestation here. Hylos is trying to zone them out, but Panda is going to be there to try to go for the seal. Look at the HP's going down. It's going to be a seal by Wicked Minds, and they're going in for the blood. BREN does take down one. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far. Pain getting out Jay. It's all swinging left and right here, and it's not looking good for BREN eSports. That fight immediately going towards the side of Wicked Minds.
Yeah, big win there for Wicked Minds. Why would BREN eSports go for that play? We just saw one of their members get picked off. It was a 4v5 on the map, so it would have definitely been a numbers advantage for Wicked Minds. Questionable decision there by BREN eSports, and they get immediately punished by Wicked Minds.
Yeah, when they saw Wicked Minds just posting up, they could have just went back off. They could have just backed off and not give out such early kills, and that's going to allow Wicked Minds to go online earlier than BREN eSports. Even though, yeah, we're already 3 minutes into the game, they all have their ultimates up. Wicked Minds having that early game spike is going to benefit them better than BREN eSports.
Yeah, but are we going to see an engage here? It's not going to be fully committed to by either team, but yeah, it seems like BREN eSports are respecting the fact that Wicked Minds have a bit of an advantage here. They don't want to go all in on any of those risky plays, but yeah, let's see. Wicked Minds, they are collapsing towards the bottom half of the map here. Trying to look for a play, trying to look for a pick-off. Not going
Yeah.
to find it yet.
You're just going to have to look for the openings there. Dark Knight Falls actually being popped over the top lane, and they were able to secure a kill onto Exort. Carry won't be able to carry them in the early game because of that shutdown. That's going to be the first turret down onto the side of Wicked Minds. Opens up the bottom lane, especially considering the fact that the turtle is going to be spawning there really soon as well.
Yeah, and that's the cost of that's the cost BREN eSports has to pay here for making that play to the top side. They invest more members there. It means Wicked Minds is open to make a play on the opposite half. They do pick up the tower, like you mentioned. That's important.
Turtle
for that
resurrecting soon.
Now, BREN eSports, they already failed the first turtle take, and I think they're mounting up a type of ambush here for Wicked Minds. They're not committing towards the turtle just yet. Jay, though, is immediately going to dive in. Look at the damage that's being dealt onto Rebo. It's going to deter them from going in because they are all really scattered here. But Hayes is going to fall down without a shadow of a doubt. That's going to be the kill onto JP on that Gushin, and Pain is going to be feeling the pain here as well as he gets walled off by that Grok as well, delaying his escape, and the inevitable takedown there by Jay. And this is going to be an easy turtle take by Wicked Minds.
Yeah, that should be the turtle there for Wicked Minds. Nicely played as well, splitting up BREN eSports. You see the members of BREN, some of them were committing to the fight, others weren't. Try to go for the steal there, but I do believe that is secured by Wicked Minds. So once again, they are rewarded for their great play.
They are rewarded for that, and I think they're going to be rewarded another kill here onto Coco on that Hellcurt. And of course, we know that Hellcurt has to keep farming. He needs to get his mid-game spike so that he can start pressuring the lanes, and that is what's lacking here. ArkAngel Wicked Minds, they have the right mindset. Go for the objectives, and then just go for the clashes if they can.
Yeah, you know, Wicked Minds, they don't seem to be phased at all that they are facing the top team after their early game advantages that they have been securing now. Can they actually find the catch here?
Oh, Pain is actually pulled there by that Divine Judgment. And he's going to be taken out. These are a lot of early game kills that BREN eSports cannot afford to give.
You know, looking back, this is exactly what we said BREN eSports had to not do if they wanted to win this game. You did mention that they do have better scaling, but what happens if you try to fight early without that scaling being online yet? You know, Wicked Minds has been doing a great job of punishing BREN eSports for their oversteps, and they have been finding a lot of these pickoffs right now. They're trying to look for more. You did mention the Hellcurt has to get his farm, and look at the member they're trying to surround here. They're attacking this Hellcurt, waiting for him to make a mistake, but...
Oh no, I think that is going to be the mistake here on the side of BREN eSports. Pain will get walled off by Grok, but he will survive. That Divine Judgment is going to connect onto Rebo, and look at the burst damage being dealt there onto Rebo, and Hellcurt finally going online, dealing a lot of burst damage onto Panda as well. It's going to force him back, but Hayes, though, is overstaying his welcome. He needs to fall back, and that is exactly what we are seeing here right now. BREN eSports just being the wiser side there and just disengage.
Yeah, any kills actually happened during that entire script. I don't think anyone died during that entire scuffle, but now things are going to reset.
Resurrecting soon.
The Lord will be spawning soon now. Wicked Minds still have a pretty hefty advantage here. Let's see what BREN eSports can do.
Yeah, BREN eSports, they can might as well just contest any Lord takes. They can't afford to go for the Lord take right now just because of the fact that the bottom lane of Wicked Minds is still intact. And I think Wicked Minds is just going to try to shove the lane, get another turret so that it opens up the jungle even more.
Yeah, and you know BREN eSports are playing a lot reactively after this, and it all stems from that earlier play where they went for the turtle with the numbers advantage. Now, it's just up to Wicked Minds on whether or not they make a mistake or not, because they look fully in control of this game. This looks like their game to lose.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Wicked Minds looking really good here compared to how they were looking in the past couple of weeks here in the regular season. And I think that 1 week break that we had might have reset their mindset, you know? No continuous fights here left and right, just we can have time to relax, we can have time to scrim with other teams and just get what our mindset should be going into the regular season.
Yeah, it seems like the mindset here for Wicked Minds will be the mid lane tier 1 tower, but are we gonna find an engage? No, BREN eSports, they hesitate to pull the trigger once again, not comfortable enough with their positioning now. Where does ArkAngel Wicked Minds go? They're constantly denying farm as well from their Hellcurt. They're constantly stealing these jungle camps, which does deny a lot from BREN.
Yeah, it does. And Wicked Minds being the smarter player, just playing the macro game really well, knowing how well their spike is right now, they're not going to let BREN eSports get into their late game spike. As we actually approach towards the late game,
that's a catch.
Divine Judgment does not connect onto Hayes, but that Hurricane Dance is going to be popped defensively, hoping for the Rebo to jump in. Rebo's actually going to jump in right now. Hayes is going to be forced to go back. Rebo will not have enough burst damage to secure anything as well, and this mid turret is going to be contested here.
Yeah, no kill's gonna happen there, but the objectives are going into favor of Wicked Minds. Look at the chip damage already onto that tower. Had that fight in the bot lane extended quite a bit more, I feel like that tier 2 tower would have definitely gone down.
It would have, but you know, Wicked Minds is playing it safe. Just let's not give away any easy kills to BREN eSports. And BREN eSports is going to be able to you know, take advantage of the fact that if they get a pick onto Exhort or onto JP, they're just gonna be wiped out.
Yeah. Oh, face check, but it's a very tanky Croc. Not gonna have any problems walking into that bush.
Yeah, no problems at all. He's a tank. He's a tanky guy. He can take any damage whatsoever.
Looks fine. He's a pretty big guy, you know. Doesn't need anyone to hold his hand while walking through the very scary jungle. But yeah, like you mentioned, I feel like for BREN, one way they would be able to get back into this game is if they get any pickoffs, which would force the game to stall out. But the way that Wicked Minds is playing, they're not affording any of those pickoffs. Now, we're going to see a fight here.
Yeah, that is actually going to be almost a good wall off. No follow through there by Wicked Minds. And BREN eSports is going to be faltering there after they secure that kill, disengage, just play it safe. That's the best way to go. And I think they're still going to go for the push here. And it's only going to be a matter of time before BREN eSports commits to the Lord.
Is that a caster curse right there? We were just talking about how a pickoff would give BREN the best case scenario if they wanted to find a way back into this game. And right as we say it, Panda actually goes down.
Yeah, Panda on that Kaja has been doing real well with the Divine Judgment, zoning everybody out. But hold that thought, though. Over here at the bottom lane, I think there's going to be a counter initiate there by Wicked Minds. They are going to try to look for the kills while they defend this bottom turret. That bottom turret is not going to be enough to deal enough aggro, but Pain is going to fall down. Nice Divine Judgment there by Panda. And they are going on fire here. Rebo dropping low on HP. Coco as well, but Exhort and JP just dealing a lot of burst damage there is going to be enough. But will they be able to secure Yuji here? There you go. That is going to be a wipeout. In favor of Wicked Minds, they are looking really dominant in this game.
Yeah, BREN eSports, they are wiped off the map right there. That will mean the Lord for Wicked Minds. They are going to be able to secure this pretty much free. Nobody to contest them, nobody to challenge them. BREN eSports, they finally felt comfortable enough to go for a fight. But unfortunately for them, they just aren't in that position yet where the gold, man, just the advantages that Wicked Minds were able to secure earlier.
Yeah, it's gonna be an easy Lord take. It's gonna be an easy Lord take. Lord might probably be spawned over at the top or mid lane. That would be the wiser decision. What Wicked Minds can do here is they can go for a split push.
Yeah,
They're actually gonna go for the bottom lane.
so they're going to split up with that Lord. They're going to group on the opposite half here to apply more pressure on the map, but going back, it's either BREN eSports get a pick off here and extend the game further, or Wicked Minds find another engage and just crush the team fight. We saw what happened during the last one. Despite that being a 4v, a numbers advantage for BREN, I feel like Wicked Minds were able to play around it really well. Now, look at the setup here. They put the Lord in one lane, the entire team on the other. This does apply a lot of pressure onto BREN eSports. So, top team or no, this is quite a tall task if they want to come back.
It is going to be a tall task, and that's going to let BREN eSports split up. That's going to significantly weaken the defensive posture that they have here. And Wicked Minds can just plow through and systematically actually take out turrets tier by tier. Right now, it's just going to be the base turrets here for BREN eSports. They do need to defend this with all their might if they want to bounce back. And I think this is going to be another engagement. No, not really.
Yeah, you know, I feel like BREN eSports have actually done a good job of defending. See, their base isn't broken just yet. Wicked Minds not able to penetrate through the tier 3 towers. Just the tier 2s, despite the Lord being summoned, you know. BREN actually does a good job of defending.
Yeah, they were able to shut down that Lord push. And I mean, if you let the Lord push out and just ignore him altogether, he can still deal a lot of damage. Even though it's still a level 1 Lord, still a bit squishy compared to the level 2 Lord, you know. That was a smart call by BREN eSports, but they were spread out too thin there.
And now, game actually extends further, and the longer this game goes, the more it favors BREN eSports. The more they're able to turtle, the more they can get an even footing and actually fight against Wicked Minds. And you see the objective here for them. They're trying to break open the base so they can apply more pressure with those super minions, but man, BREN are just holding on really, really well.
They really are. At this point, typically we'd see the teams just diving in, trying to get a wipeout, and then getting the turret, or vice versa. But with Wicked Minds already having all their core items, almost all their core items set, they could easily dive in here. But let's not discount the fact that BREN eSports still has the outplay potential in them with that Alice, with that Akai. If Akai lands a perfect Hurricane Dance, he'll be able to disrupt whatever setup Wicked Minds is going to be going for.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect here and a lot of patience as well being showed by Wicked Minds. And I like it, you know, you did mention they are a fairly veteran team, and that's why they are playing this patiently. You know, you can't have any fumbles when you are facing a top team like BREN eSports. And right now, the question on my mind is whether or not this patience will actually hurt them in the end, because you kind of get this feeling where they have to force and not let BREN get that gold back. So I'm expecting a forced dive here from Wicked Minds, but let's wait and see.
Yeah, in my opinion, they need to force out something here from BREN eSports, because Wicked Minds, while they, just like what you said, while they keep going at it at this pace, their patience might just bite them in the dust, because while that's happening, Coco's going to be able to farm up. Yuji's going to be able to farm up as well, just because of the minions being pushed way, way in towards their base. But the Lord is going to be an objective here that BREN eSports needs to steal. They need to have an opening here. That Hurricane Dance is going to deal damage onto JPA, knock him up, but it's not going to be dealing enough damage because they are spread so thin. And we do see that Helker trying to look for openings to go for split pushes, and that is exactly what he's doing. BREN eSports just needs to create space for Helker so that everything's going to be easy for them.
Yeah, and I feel like that space has been successfully created. They did force one member of Wicked Minds back now. They're trying to force Helker to join BREN eSports here by baiting the start on the Lord now. Still waiting on him to collapse. Still numbers advantage for...
Oh, hold up though. They're actually really doing a good job zoning him out. Rebo is finally in the action. Helkert hasn't joined the action just yet. The Lord is going to regenerate. Yuji though dealing enough damage. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade as we speak. Extort dropping low on HP. BREN eSports finally starting to hurt there. Yuji going online is going to be able to pick off two people. Dark Knight Falls is going to be triggered. That's a lot of damage on that Coco, and they are going to start pushing. And this Lord will be down without any problems. Jay, the only problem here for Wicked Minds is going to be targeted by Pain and Rebo, and he's being zoned out really well. That's going to be an easy Lord take for BREN eSports, and I think they will be able to bounce back from this after that.
Yeah, that's a massive win for BREN eSports. They win the fight right after Wicked Minds were starting that Lord, and man, the scaling, it's finally kicked in. This is what Wicked Minds were scared of, and we were talking about how that patience might bite them in the end, and right there, BREN eSports, they found a fight where they were comfortable enough. They took enough of the gold back. They were able to get their items now. Let's see, BREN eSports, they secure the Lord. What do they decide to do with this?
They need to start split pushing, or just like what I say, walk with the Lord. And I think that is going to be the case. They're going to go carve a path straight towards the middle lane here for Wicked Minds. But yeah, I just want to point out how that patience that you were mentioning here from Wicked Minds is finally biting them. BREN eSports, Yuji, and Coco, they have a lot of damage now, and they are starting to hurt. I don't think Wicked Minds would be able to sustain their stay here in the middle lane.
Yeah, Lord will take down the tier 2 tower. It's already gonna go down. So that's the most BREN eSports are gonna get out of that. Actually, Helkert with a split push as well now. Does BREN eSports go for a dive here? No. Both teams actually just gonna back off here. Gonna look for actually more objectives. See, there's still one tier 2 on the side of Wicked Minds, and
Jay with that face check though, he's gonna pay for that. Not even. They're just backing off. I think they're both playing safe here.
yeah, it's a lot of respect being shown by both teams, and now I wonder who gets to pull the trigger first.
Oh, that is the trigger being pulled. Rebo being pulled there by that Divine Judgment, but the burst damage from BREN eSports has finally reached the critical amount here, and it's just going to be enabling BREN eSports to maybe close this out. It's just going to be Carry on her own. I'm going to try to defend this, but they don't have any minions pushing up.
There is one minion in the bottom lane now. Actually think BREN can end here.
Yeah.
I think they have completed this comeback.
Yeah, that is going to be a comeback for BREN eSports. Carry won't be able to defend that. It's a 1-0 in their favor. Man, I did not expect Wicked Minds to just just take control of the early game, something that BREN eSports should be doing, but Wicked Minds came out on top with that on that, and then BREN eSports though just playing it patiently with their just superior game sense, just going in for systematic takes, systematic picks. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we were talking about how BREN eSports were the top team here, and right there it shows. Despite being behind, despite facing those odds, even if they defended well, I also feel like Wicked Minds were playing a bit too passively with the lead that they had, with the advantage they had during the early and mid game. I feel like they could have forced more plays onto BREN eSports. Unfortunately, just a few pickoffs that happened onto their side really limited their options and really allowed BREN enough time to stall out the game. So, great job there by BREN. They are up 1-0, but this is, of course, best of three.
Yeah, it is a best of three series, so at least BREN eSports can finally breathe that, hey, we almost lost the game. At least we can come back game number two. Wicked Minds, though, they need to figure out what they really want to do here because their lineup is really aggressive in the early game. We saw that happen. They had a significant amount of gold lead as well, even going into the late game, but they weren't able to close it out. I think I'd attribute that to just having not enough experience closing out the games against a team that's really patient, that respects your